Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and this is episode 4, playing as the United States of America on Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn, which is a modern-day mod for Hearts of Iron 4, and it is November of 2006. We have just vanquished Canada, and we are continuing the march with 15 divisions down through Central America. Meanwhile, we are kind of nominally involved in a war with Vietnam, along with the Philippines. Philippines called us to that war. Vietnam's got a decent-sized army, so it's nothing to sneeze at. But I am preparing naval invasions to get some troops over there to help deal with that situation. Maybe the thing to do is to land them in the Philippines first. I don't know, but I'm going to figure all that out. But if you did not see the first 3 episodes, there's a link in the description below that will take you back to episode 1, and we're going to continue and see what happens. So countries are joining factions right and left. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current situation with the factions. Yugoslavia just joined the CSTO, so now we're seeing more and more of those Eastern Bloc European countries joining with Russia, China, and India in this massive faction. We've got the Peninsula Shield, which mostly is Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, and now we've got one kind of showing up here in Africa, the Organization for International Security. There's also one country here, CSTO. I don't know, is that Kenya? That's Tanganyika. That's part of the Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, so they're a part of that as well. And then we've got something right here. What is this? The Liberia Coalition. All right, cool. And what's up here? We've got Germany and... Are they part of that same one? Yeah, Germany and Sweden have joined the Organization for International Security as well. Austria and Switzerland are part of something, but I can't quite tell what it is. So, all right, so that's all interesting. Britain stands on its own. Prime Minister William Hague lashed out against both the European Union and the Commonwealth of Nations today. They hold Britain back. They are corrupt and foolish, as the statement went. Some journalists have viewed this as a misstep of politically drunk politician, and others see this as the beginning of a new era. While we're in the middle of the game, I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to one of the viewers of this channel. His name's Justin. Justin's only 12 years old, and he's done something really cool, and I really appreciate it, and I wanted to take the time to give him this shout out because he has gone in and he's actually written down a history of all of the major events that are happening in the game. And I'm not going to show you all of it because it's really long and detailed, but at some point maybe I'll find a way to share the whole thing. But I just want to share a little bit of what he did. And he just kind of took through all the major events of the game. So right here, January 1st, 2000, Bill Clinton announces a new focus for American economy in the wake of the new century. And then you can see he begins with a 47.3% approval rating. But then as events unfold, that starts to change. We've got the elections happening. A new tax bill which raises the tax rate by 1% across the board is put into law. Polls put the Clinton administration at 44.7%. We can scroll down ahead and kind of take a look as events kind of unfold with the anthrax attacks with 9/11. After investigations finding Osama bin Laden as the main coordinator for the 12/4 attacks, the U.S. demands his extradition from the Islamic State of Afghanistan. 1 week later, the Taliban refused. Operation Enduring Freedom takes place. Public protests call for a rewritten constitution under the Nationalist Party. We've got the events that happened here. The following are no longer under NATO Article 5. Italy, Ireland, Luxembourg, Ghana, Hungary, Finland, United Kingdom, Estonia, and Greece. Of course, Article 5 is what a NATO member can call for as a mutual defense, which is what the treaty is. The United States, seeing little point in continuing the fight, is rejected. Polls have Pence at 5.8% popularity. You can see the first American troops land in Karachi under Lieutenant General Charles Flynn to invade the Taliban. It's been only a year. And just on and on and on. And Justin, this is just so really cool, and I greatly appreciate it. And I've had so much fun reading through this and kind of seeing the events, and it really kind of puts it all in perspective. So I thought that was awesome. And it's probably too long to put it all in one, but I think what I might do is for each episode that I've recorded, I'll go ahead and copy and paste his description for those events that took place during that part during that episode, and put it in the description below. So if any of you are so inclined to read those things, you can go to that episode and read about everything that happens in that episode. Because there's just, there's 9 pages here, and I don't want to take all the time to read it all now. But Justin put a lot of work into this, and I thought it was definitely worth appreciating. So thank you, Justin. Please keep it up. I'm really enjoying that. And let's head back to the game. Oh, well, this is perfect timing on this one. We've completed the U.S. Navy National Focus. We're going to go with U.S. Marine Corps now, because what that's going to do is allow me a boost to naval evasion capacity, naval amphibious invasion speed, and those are things that I actually could use right now. So we're going to go ahead and do that. National debt continues to go down. I'm just going to continue paying that bad boy off. Here's another election result. It's going to take a while, but I'm waiting on my divisions to get down into San Diego and Los Angeles, which is where I'm going to prepare my invasion of Vietnam from. There's really nothing going on in this war right now. As you can see, the Philippines have lost some men, but I don't even know if that's been against Vietnam or if that was in my war against Canada. Let's take a look. No, it was against Vietnam. I don't know where they're fighting, if Vietnam has invaded them or what's going on, because I don't really see any action going on at the moment. Time for our next conquest in Central America while we wait on our naval invasions to prepare for Vietnam. And we are going after Honduras. And then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and fire up a preparation for war against Nicaragua. Investment offer from Norway. Norway has been investing, and I certainly welcome it. They're going to continue to do so. So we'll be going through Honduras and Nicaragua next. That'll bring us down to Costa Rica, which I've been to, which is a beautiful country. So I'd very much like to own it. And that brings us, at that point, then down to Panama. All right, we're ready to go for Honduras. So the troops go marching on. Get our Central American forces on the move. Don't expect this one to last long, like a lot of the smaller wars here. Honduras joined. Whoa! They joined the Organization for International Security. Does that mean that we are now going to be at war with Germany and Sweden? Is the question. Because they could call a pretty substantial army if that's the case. But we should be able to use our decision-making power after a little while to call them off. Yeah. Oh, Japan. Interesting. The U.S. is at war with Japan. All right, let's finish off Honduras and then start. Oh, we've got to be at war for 3 months first. Ethiopia, Rwanda. Wait, what is this? China wants to sign a pact of non-aggression. Yes, please. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is that how that's going to go? Bosnia. That's right. Oh, CSTO joined on our side. Are you kidding me? That's phenomenal. So now Vietnam has joined that side. So this has turned into a world war at this point. I guess we've got World War III on our hands. All because the U.S. invaded Nicaragua. Or no, Honduras. Nicaragua's down here. Wow. Alright, so we got to sign all these non-aggression pacts. North Korea, Azerbaijan, Congo, Bulgaria. Okay. Man, all over Honduras. That's phenomenal. Philippines joined the Middle Eastern Defense League. So the question here becomes, what are we going to see happening with this? I mean, is Russia going to go after? I mean, can they get to Germany? Bangladesh joins on a side. So most of the world's major powers are in this thing now. Japan's got their hands full because they're going to be at war with China and Russia. I guess we might not have to worry too much about that invasion of Vietnam at this point. So we'll just finish off Honduras and kind of go about doing our thing. Everything moves so slowly at this point on this mod. It really does bog down quite a bit. Did I lose? How did I lose air superiority down here? Alright, well, we'll get some more air power going. I've got plenty of things just sitting around down here anyway. Let's get some A-10s going. A-10 Warthogs. Oh, I thought I created those. Alright, well, there we go. Everything's just kind of working a little bit slower than usual right now. Alright, well, we're going to choose the American Militias National Focus. It's going to give me the National Spirit American Militias, which gives me a 1% recruitable population boost. Meanwhile, we are just about finished taking out Honduras. We've got some new divisions coming into play. And what I want to look at right now is the state of the fight. Russian Federation's lost almost 200,000 men fighting against Sweden, Germany, and to a smaller extent, Japan. Japan is actually, and so is Bosnia, they're facing extinction here. You can see multiple landings on the mainland of Japan. And it looks like it must be China. I can't really see who it is, but Japan's days are numbered. Meanwhile, that also means China's coming in from the north on Vietnam. And so that kind of removes the real need for me to go landing over there. I can pretty much chill at home, I think, for now, and just continue focusing on what I'm doing in Central and South America. So pretty much the rest of my allies can fight my wars for me at this point. Alright, so I've completed my justification now for Nicaragua. So as I'm about to be finished with Honduras, I'm going to wait a little bit before I declare, well, no, you know what? I don't want to lose that justification. So we're just going to go ahead and do it now. Obviously, I'm already at war with all these other folks, so that's not going to matter a whole lot. And what I've done is I've called off my invasion of Vietnam, and I've rerouted those two armies of 15 divisions into an army group that's heading south into Central America. So all these troops that were just starting to get into California to load up on ships for Southeast Asia will now be coming down here. So I got to watch my infrastructure and make sure I've got enough that I can get supplies flowing freely down through Mexico to get here. But otherwise, I should be okay. And it looks like I'm ready to start yet another army. Actually, we'll just go ahead and put these guys in the American theater. Alright, so we finished off Honduras. They've capitulated, but there's no treaty to be had, no territory to be annexed because they're part of this larger war. So that's actually going to continue. So we're going to go ahead and reset the lines now and go after Nicaragua. I did declare war on them, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the larger war. So it's going pretty well right now. It's considered the American-Japanese War, and you can see that we heavily outnumber them, something like 6-1. But the casualties have been pretty massive on my side so far. Mostly China, Democratic Republic of Congo, which looks to have been taken out, along with Eritrea. So let's see what's happening around the world. Whoa, didn't mean to zoom in that far. China continues to gobble up Japan. What's Russia doing in this whole thing? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of fighting going on in Europe. A little bit over here, Yugoslavia is trying to take out Bosnia. And then there's a lot of fighting going on down here in Central Africa, Rwanda, Congo. It's just a mess right there. All right, Nicaragua's out of this thing, and Honduras has reemerged because they took back a little territory, so we're going to quickly deal with that. And then once I do, we can turn our sights to Costa Rica, which I'll go ahead and begin the justification against. That's only going to take 10 days. It's going to be a while until it looks like the first lead element of my divisions from the 30 additional divisions I'm sending south are starting to arrive. I'm bypassing Belize for now. They're really not in the way, and there's not a lot of point for me to just kind of have to deal with that. I can always go back and get them later. I'm just trying to open things up so that I can get into South America and get at all of their resources down there, which means having to fight my way through the Central American countries. Kazakhstan wants a pact of non-aggression? Sure, why not? Let's take a look at the war situation around the world. Continuing to deal with Japan. They're almost at halfway capitulation now. Nobody else really of any significance. Sweden has lost a little bit of territory. Germany, nothing so far. I'll be curious to see if Russia actually goes after any of that. So, let's see. Here's the landing in Sweden right here. But it doesn't look like there's any current fighting going on. And I can't quite tell who owns that. Interesting. Oh, man. We completed the justification for Costa Rica so fast that my divisions haven't even made their way to the Costa Rican border yet. So while that's happening, we're going to justify on Panama. And that's only going to take 10 days. Let's go ahead and declare this war. U.S. goes to war with Costa Rica, who immediately joins the opposing faction. No surprises there. I'm trying to rush a division over to this side. We've got this big lake here in the middle, so I just want to make sure that we're getting on both sides of him. So there's the completion of the American militia national focus. That's going to improve my recruitable population. Let's look and see what else there is down here. We do have new foreign policy, which is going to help me with my stability, which is actually already 99%, so it really doesn't need the help, but that's okay. We'll go for it anyway. In the meantime, let's look at the decisions, because it looks like there's a bunch more available. Costa Rica's out. Oh, it's just the ceasefires that we have options. I'm not going to ask for any of those ceasefires, because I like the idea of this massive world war going on, and I want to keep that going. Alright, so they've got construction. Norway's constructing civilian industry in Maryland and Florida for me right now. I don't know that I need to do anything for that. Alright, so let's prepare now for Panama. We've actually already got the justification on them. Move the troops into position, and that'll put me at the doorstep of South America. Japan is about 2/3 under Chinese control now. It's not going to last much longer, it doesn't appear. Vietnam, however, is putting up a heck of a fight against China, so I might have to land some troops over there at some point and help out. I don't know. Still nothing really happening in Europe except for Yugoslavia continuing to try to deal with Bosnia. And again, just a big mess down in the central part of Africa. But things are going really well for me. We're about to take Panama City, and then we're going to be able to I'm going to sit back and relax a little bit and give myself time to do a couple of things. One is to get all of these divisions down on the border with Colombia. Second, I want to build up the infrastructure and the airfields in this area so that I can prepare, because that's obviously going to be a different kind of animal invading into these mountains of Colombia. So I want to be well prepared and take the time to kind of reset myself a little bit before I do that. There we go, Panama's out. So now, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, William Hague re-elected in Britain. We're going to go ahead and get the... Wow, can I not cross that border? Wow, is it really that... It's impossible to cross there. Oh, you know what? I think I remember that from before. Because of the jungles or a river or something there. It's just, you can't cross. Alright, we're going to have to figure out an alternate route into Colombia then. I guess we'll just build up a naval base and do like the world's shortest naval invasion. Oh man, Japan has capitulated. They're out. I'm preparing my naval invasion of Colombia. It's about halfway there. So we're going to start getting ready to declare that war. But Japan's out. Japan has been conquered by China. That's the first major country to fall in this whole thing. Certainly will not be the last. I'm looking at you, Sweden and Germany. Vietnam. Bosnia is about to fall. So World War III going along swimmingly so well for my side of things, but we've got a whole continent to conquer here pretty soon. All right, we're maxed out at 2,000 up here on political power, so I'm going to go ahead and choose economic boom and get the country going again real quick. Looks like I actually just went into debt a little bit, so I guess I'll have to figure out why that is, but it seems like we're actually going in the right direction. So taxes at 18% right now, and it looks like we're just about halfway there. It's only going to take 10 days to justify the war against Colombia, so no point in doing that until my naval invasion is ready to go. All right, we've completed new foreign policy. We're going to go for Ministry of Art and Culture. The U.S. had many famous artists, poets, authors, etc. through its life. We should celebrate these amazing people. Stability is already maxed out at 100, so that doesn't do a lot for that. It does, however, improve my base war support. And that'll get that even higher. And then we could, if we so choose, go after establishing a state religion. I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that, but we'll see what the benefits might be. So I don't know. In the meantime, I've maxed out also on army experience at 500, so I'm going to start spending some of that. We're going to create a variant of our main battle tank, which is kind of what's doing most of my fighting. I'm going to add 2 armor, 4 reliability, 2 to the main gun, and 2 to the engine. And so we've got the M1A2A1 is now our main battle tank that we're going to start producing. Let's see how this is coming along pretty nicely. Naval invasion is nearly complete. And what I'll do is I'll send those 15 divisions to land here near Barranquilla. And once we do that, then we'll rush the rest of the divisions, and hopefully they won't get bogged down with bad supply issues, and we can pretty quickly break out from there. I don't know what kind of divisions Colombia has. Let's take a look and see what we know about them. Not a whole lot. They've only got 12 to 15 divisions, so I would imagine even just the base army that I land is going to be enough to deal with them. Let's see how construction's coming along. So I'm doing everything I can to build up all of the infrastructure and max it out all the way between Mexico, or the U.S. down through Mexico into Central America. It's not there yet, but it's all being built, so I think it should be able to hopefully handle supply. All right, so here we go. The naval invasion is ready, and the justification will be happening in 3, 2, 1 hours, and here we go. War with Colombia. This may call the UK into the war, who is guaranteeing Colombia. So we may be pulling a new nation into this whole mess. We're going to find out here in a second. But in the meantime, the naval invasion is going to go off. Yep, UK's in. So that just made the world war a little bit more worldwide. Didn't add a whole lot in terms of manpower to that side. But you can see we're still taking the brunt of the losses, mostly because of China and Russia especially. Russia's lost 100,000 men against Germany. So Germany's obviously, Germany and Sweden are fighting somewhere. I just don't know exactly where that is. I gotta see if we can find out where the conflicts are happening right now. I don't know if it's kind of a proxy war here in Yugoslavia between those nations or what exactly is happening. But there's obviously fighting happening somewhere. Over here, I've got a naval. Oh no, I guess I've got, yeah, a navy. It's gotten in combat a little bit here and there, but really nothing major. Japan apparently has established a homeland on Iwo Jima, or is Iwuto, looks like it's called now, but I think that's Iwo Jima there. So I moved the USS Enterprise and their task force down into the Caribbean so I could establish naval superiority, which was necessary in order to be able to get this naval invasion going. And now that's happening, and I don't know where these guys are going, or if they're going anywhere. But we're about to see how this is going to go. It looks like there's only one division defending. It looks like it's an individual brigade. So I think we're going to be able to land pretty successfully here. I'm just keeping an eye out on the casualty situation for that. Don't expect it'll be too high. 34 men so far. As soon as we get landed, we're going to rush these other 30 divisions and get them in there as well, and then we can start breaking out. It's going to be tough going, especially getting to Bogota. It's up there in the mountains. But I think we'll wrap things up once we finish the conquest of Colombia and we've got our kind of toehold in the northern part of South America. So now that I've established my beachhead in Colombia, the next step is to build up the naval base there. We've got to get supplies flowing as best as possible so that I can have enough organization to be able to break out from here. And that's what we're starting to do now. And I'm also moving the other divisions. I'm just hoping that once I have 45 divisions sitting on this spot, they're not eating up too many supplies, or else I might be stuck here for a while. There's Ministry for Art and Culture. Now, as I looked at establishing state religion, the benefits that are there don't really help me a whole lot. I don't need the political power gain. I don't need the stability bonus. So there's not a lot to be gained by that. So I think at least for now, we're going to go ahead and go back way over here to focusing on the military a little bit. Maybe we'll start focusing on leveling up the Navy as we continue this fight in Colombia. Very few men lost so far. I've lost 83. Colombia has lost 380, so it's been a relatively bloodless conflict so far. We'll finish this episode up as soon as I am able to finish off Colombia. Well, it's interesting to note that I'm not only fighting against Colombian forces down here. There are also divisions from Turkey and South Korea that are involved in this combat. Making a breakout down here on the western coast. So hopefully maybe I can get around and encircle him once that happens. Some more of my divisions have made it to Panama City, which means now they're going to be able to jump off and land. Just taking their good old sweet time getting down there, that's all. If I can push through and cut off this area, it shortens the size of my front, and I think it probably makes things a little simpler. Well, in other world events, the Austrians have left the European Union, and we are desperately trying to finish these guys off. I knew it would be slow going because of these mountains and that everything would be more difficult, but adding the divisions from Korea, South Korea and Turkey into the mix defending certainly has slowed me down. I've lost 3,000 men, inflicted about the same number of casualties. I think if we take Bogota, that may be enough to get this done because we've already kind of pushed through a lot of his victory points. So I'm hoping this ends relatively soon. Alright, the invasion of Bogota has begun. And I've destroyed a bunch of his divisions. I cut them off and destroyed them up here, and that greatly increased his number of losses. He's up to 19,000 now, almost 20,000 to my 4,000. So I'm hoping it's just a matter of time now. Oh, I thought we were taking Bogota, but it looks like that didn't quite go off without a hitch. So we've got another territory about to be taken here. He is at 75% toward capitulation, so it's been slow going, but we are getting there. We took Bogota, and with that, Colombia has fallen. I don't know what in the world this little territory is here that Colombia is getting to keep, but I guess we just go in and grab that real quick. But we're going to wrap this episode up right there. I've got my first major American presence in South America. That puts me on the border with some major players now: Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil. I think we probably want to deal with some of the smaller fish before we go after the big fish in Brazil. So let me know your thoughts. Use that comment section below. I'm going to take Justin's descriptions of the different episodes and plug them into this, the description below each episode. If you want to read those things, they should be up by the time this video is. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Please drop a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, and we will see you again in a few days with the next episode. Thanks for watching.